Welcome ladies and gentlemen to a Fortnite changes slash patch note video. Anyways, today we're going to talk about all the notable changes that happened to the game, and there's also going to be other videos about the changes that happened to Fortnite Season 6 if you're interested. Anyways, we're going to get started. One of the most notable changes that we're going to talk about is what happened to the weapon and items. For starters, we're going to talk about the new item that is around, and that is Shadow Stones. It's basically like a hop rock in a way, except this one makes you invisible. It allows you to move faster, makes you invisible, and allows you to have fall damage immunity. So you can't take any fall damage. Man, that's like great things in life, I guess, in a way. But while you're invisible, you cannot shoot your weapons, and also it lasts up to 45 seconds. So you can cancel it during that time by holding one of your buttons down in order to cancel the effect. But there is a small little delay, so that prevents you from shooting right away, which can be somewhat a pain in the butt, I would say. But there's also, while you're invisible, it leaves a small little trail for others to see you when you're moving around crazily with it. That way it's just not overkill with how effective it is, but it's still hard to pick up on, but it also requires you to move around a lot in order for people to tell that you're invisible. Other things they did to weapons is that they vaulted a lot of weapons, which is probably really crazy to you, as some of these items you probably care about a lot. And that is how they vaulted impulse grenades. So I guess you really don't care since you've been using shockwave grenades in replacement of those. And they also vaulted the suppressed SMG. You probably don't care because it has a slow fire rate and doesn't do as much damage, I would say. They vaulted the light machine gun. Nobody really cared for those besides taking down builds with them. And bouncers, and that's a crazy one that they vaulted. It's just like, man, they're vaulting that item. We barely had it for, oh, I guess we had it for a season, but yeah, they vaulted that. And lastly, they vaulted remote explosives. Now, this has finally got rid of the season 5 meta of freaking explosives everywhere, so you guys should be really happy right now, as you no longer have to just deal with the person throwing 3 C4s in your face right now. They've also added momentum to grapplers, so when you're hitting an object, a vehicle, player, whatever in that nature, its momentum will be added to your force now. This only happens when the momentum would be a net gain. You cannot lose momentum, so you move faster with that. Now, the grappler also got nerfed in a way. It went from 15 charges to now 10, so you just lost 5 charges. It's not really a big deal, because I don't think you really need to be using that much, besides if you're trying to get like further ahead. But besides that, it's still perfect for fights if you're like monitoring it. Also, we had a nerf to the double barrel damage. So finally, nobody can just grapple up to you and just double barrel you to the face, or just run up to your face and just hit you for a one-shot kill basically with the double barrel. Now the damage went from 143/150 to 114 and 120. A lot of people are complaining that it doesn't do as much damage anymore, so that's kind of up to you to decide. Lastly, we have reduced the dual pistol floor spawning, so it doesn't spawn as much on the floor anymore. It went from 1.49% to a 0.88%. So a very big change. I hope we don't see it as much anymore, because it started getting annoying with seeing all the people with it. Because I've noticed that a lot of people are starting to get better with it, but I don't know. That's just me. So yeah. Now we're going to talk about the changes they made to gameplay, and there's a link in the description below to the changes they made to the map. So they made some notable changes, in my opinion, and very minute changes that you probably won't be able to tell unless you watch the video. So I would highly recommend. I also talk about all the new chest spawn rates, what chances of you getting a chest, or well, how many chests you can get in an area, and where they spawn. So I would highly recommend that you go check it out, but that is just me. And now we're going to talk about something they did for the controllers finally, people that play on console or on PC with a controller. And that is, now you can have custom controller bindings, so you can choose whatever bindings that you want for your controller to make your life a little bit easier. And that is a great thing for a lot of people, I would say. Now for console, when you plug in a keyboard into it, they're now going to put you into the PC matchmaking, so you're no longer competing against console players, and that way you're, I guess, on an even playing field, I would say. I don't know, or well, just same playing field, I guess would be the better term. PC players will be unaffected by this change, so if you're using a controller on the PC, you're still going to be playing against PC players, and that is one of the bigger changes to it. In regards to gameplay changes, Epic made some changes to the Storm Circle to make the game a faster game, and that way people are dying at a faster rate, because there's been a lot more turtling happening in the game. You can notice that a lot more in the Fortnite skirmishes, and Epic is not really fond of that. So now they're trying to put the hammer down and tell them to, I guess, put themselves more in the open, or to make it where they just die at a faster rate now from that. So now there's going to be text on your screen explaining all this little stuff. It's just how long it takes for the storm to occur, like from, or well, lessening it, I would say, and then allowing the shrink time to grow a little bit more. But so there's still a chance of you getting stuck in the storm. But they've also made it where the safe zone circles are now 50% further from the previous safe zone, and this is for safe zone 4 through 9 where they've made changes, and safe zone 7 and 8 is where they made it where the circle is a bit bigger than before, that way it's not as small, but it's still game changing enough to where they're trying to excel the game at a faster pace. And the last gameplay changes they made were to the ATK, where they moved the horn button for console players down to the down on the D-pad, and that's so they can allow for auto run to occur still. And one of the other last changes they made, which is, well, I guess the final changes they made for gameplay, is that they allowed for wired fences to no longer have traps on them. You can't place traps on them anymore, and there's no longer a reason for that to be a nuisance to you. One of the biggest problems with Fortnite was that you never could tell when a person was above you or below you, and they did it with this. So now they finally fixed it to where if a person's below you, their footsteps are more echoey, and if they get further below you, the pitch gets lower for it too, and if they get higher above you, then you're going to be able to have an increased pitch. So now you're going to be able to distinguish a bit better on what it is. And if you want more information about that, they have a full-on post about it, to where you can like analyze every little detail about the audio. But now in regards to glider sounds, they made it where it increased the distance that you can hear them when they open / close, so it's a bit better at hearing when people use jump pads or land. And they increased the audio range for players skydiving so that they match the players gliding. And they also added the ability to have a Doppler pitch effect, or well, not add the ability, but they added that sound effect. So this creates the car pass by effect when people fly by you or fly over you in Fortnite. And lastly, in regards to audio, which kind of leads us into the UI, which is now they allowed us to have an option to select what our preferred music choices, and that is through the Season 6 Battle Pass music choices. And with that, they innovated how the UI looks for the locker scene. So now there's a lot more, I don't know how to describe it, but there's a lot more openness to it. It feels a bit different, and now you can select what music choices you want and just updated the layout for it. So lastly, we're going to talk about the small stuff now, and that is art and animation, replay system, and mobile. So for art and animation, they added small improvements to the storm visualization, and that's how you can see rain and lightning better when the storm gets a bit stronger, and that's really it for that. But in regards to the replay system, they added the ability that had the controller be used as a way to increase or slow down the playback speed when the thing is hidden. So when you hit your HUD for the replay system, there used to be a problem when using it with the controller, but now they fixed that. They've also moved the high quality effects flag to the lens settings instead of where it was before, and automatically hide certain aperture and focus settings if the depth of field effect isn't active. Now replay now correctly uses the movement keys when it is set in the input settings, so now you can have custom settings set for it. And now they have inverted the default direction to the third person camera to make the controls consistent with all the other cameras. And that's really it for the replay system, so they've done a lot of changes for it in a way. And now for mobile, they added item tooltips in game, which will display better for players on mobile devices. And that's really it for Fortnite Season 6, which is kind of crazy that we've had these patch notes. They did a lot of things in regards to changing the meta, which is going to be insane to see how this plays out, because they've removed a lot of spray weapons, explosives, bouncers that allow you to get high ground easily. But then again, we still have a lot of stuff that allow us to do just as that. So maybe things will pan out differently, I don't know. But now we're going to move on to the Battle Pass. Okay, you guys, before we get started on showing all the Battle Pass skins and all the other stuff associated with it, I wanted to point out the new lobby screen to you guys. So in the background, you guys can see the new loot lake and how it is right now, and I thought it was pretty cool, and I figured I would show you guys it. And also, I would show you guys the locker right now, that way you guys can see the new cleaner look it has to it and what new feature it has, and that is the music feature, which you unlock through the Season 6 Battle Pass itself. Now either way, we're going to get started on showing all the Battle Pass skins, and then eventually we're going to show all the stuff in regards to like emotes grouped together all at once, the gliders grouped together at once, and then the other emotes and like sprays all grouped together too at once. And I won't be talking then, so either way, we're gonna get started right now with DJ Yonder, which is one of the first skins you unlock with the battle pass. And I'm also kind of disappointed by him. I don't know, maybe it's because I don't like his outfit on. Like, I like the idea of the skin, but I don't know, that's just me. Maybe if I play with the skin more, I'll admire it, but I don't know. Leave your comments down below on your opinions of the skin. That way I can see if we're in agreement or if I'm just crazy. And then also we have Calamity, which is like the drifter who has unlockable outfits for her. And when she reaches her last outfit, she has different colored versions of her outfit you guys can choose from. But in regards to that, you have to do challenges for that skin. So you guys can see that when you go to your locker and edit style. So if you choose this last form, she has the white color version on default with a nice misty effect to it too. But you can choose what color you want: teal, purple, and then of course black. That way you guys can have that little villainy effect to it. But back to the battle pass. So now we're gonna continue on, and you can see Giddy Up, which is probably one of my favorite ones because it's kind of funny to look at and it's just kind of cute. This is what I envision all the, I guess, mobile players or new beginner players to be like. I don't know, it's just kind of cute to it, and that's just my opinion about it. We also have the Fable skin, which is from the Red Riding Hood set. You can see that she's killed some werewolves in her life with some tails attached to her. She has a knife ready to kill. And yeah, it's a pretty nice skin, or a decent one in my opinion. And then also next one up, we got Dusk, which is a part of the Vampire set, I would say, or the Night Coven set, whichever way you want to call it. Has a decent look attached to her, a mistress feel, I guess you can say. And yeah. Then next one up, we got Nightshade, which is a part of the Pizza Pit set. And who can hate Nightshade? Like, just look at that head. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I probably won't use it to be honest, but yeah. And then lastly, we got Dire, which is probably the coolest skin out of the whole set, and that's because you become a werewolf. And as you become a werewolf, you can have different versions of the werewolf where you have different colors of it that you unlock it for. And I don't know, that's just me. It's pretty cool. I'll be waiting to get that skin whenever I get it. But either way, that is it for that I'm going to show you guys for. If you guys do enjoy the video, leave a like, comment down below what you guys think. And also, don't forget you can watch different videos on the channel, such as funny moments and gameplay. And don't forget, there's other news videos that I've released today that you guys can watch too. Either way, I'm going to show you guys the rest of the stuff, and then at the end, you guys can determine what you guys want to do. So, see you guys later.